pencil sharpening time, or the coding equivalent anyway. We're going to head in and go to a new trinket. Please select Python. Some people I think have perhaps got their own account and doing Python 3. For this one, if you just select Python here, it actually runs faster. Go down and get the Python 3 little code there and paste it up there. Let's get really, really big to start with. And we're going to do a whole lot of setup that will make our job so much easier down the line. The first thing is I know ahead of time I'll be using time because I want to use that little effect where there's a pause between things. I know I'm going to be using the random module, so I will import that. And just getting into good habits, I'm just putting a little comment as to what I'm doing above everything. So import modules. So when I go back, I can easily quickly look for the green bits of code and or the green comments and see what my code is doing. Um, Ahead of time, another thing which is going to help us is make an inventory or an item list. Again, with all of these things, you don't have to call it the same thing that I call it, but please make sure that you do these things because it'll make it so much easier. Even if you don't use it, it's there. So I'm thinking at some point during the game, I'm going to want to be able to pick things up, add them to the inventory, use them, etc., etc. So I'm just going to call them items, and I'm going to make an empty list, which is the square brackets. Okay, I'm also going to set up, like we did in class last lesson, I'm going to make a custom print function that I'm going to use for the whole game. And the really cool thing is, if I don't like the way the game is printing, then I don't have to go change every single bit of code. I can just change this one print function, which is fantastic. So let's say, for example, I wanted everything to wait for 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds. I can just change it in this one place and it gets changed everywhere automatically, which is fantastic. So please make sure you do this as well. I'm going to call mine PR, short for print, and it's going to take some text, obviously. Again, you don't have to call it text. You could call it writing or whatever you want. That's just the name of the variable that's going to get given to it. And mine is going to be very simple at this stage. I'm just going to print the text and then time.sleep 2 seconds. We can always change that number later. And then it's going to print an empty line, give it a little bit of space. Like I said, I can now change how things print everywhere just by changing this function. This is called a helper function. It's basically a function that you use everywhere else to get little jobs done. We will have more helper functions as we go. For the moment, zoop, I don't need to see that anymore. I can code fold that out of the way. I'm thinking that might be all the setup I need at the moment. Oh, of course. What was I going to call mine? It was, hold on. That's right, the Oracle returns. There we go. And of course, hit save. Wonderful.